Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here today. My name is Kelsey, and today we are looking at messages from Camelot. So Camelot is very near and dear to my heart. It always has been, just kind of an energy that I've always been super drawn to. So today I felt very inspired to bring forth messages from this place, from this energy, from this realm, from this legend. So go ahead, grab yourself a notebook if you feel called to do so, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, pull up a chair, and sit for a spell. Okay, beautiful souls. So out in front of you, here we have the pile selection. And I'm going to ask you to take a couple deep breaths, really ground yourself, connect to your intuition, connect to your guides, really bring forth any questions or any clarity that you've been seeking answers to, or that you've been kind of looking for. And ask which one of these four messengers has a message from Camelot for you. And here we have pile number 1 with the questing beast. We have pile number 2 with blaze. We have pile number 3 with King Arthur. And we have pile number 4 with boars. So go ahead, take a moment, figure out which card is calling to you, which messenger is really speaking to you, calling out to you. And I will have the timestamps to the beginning of each reading in the description box below, along with the cards that I'm using for anybody who is interested in that or wants to know what decks I'm using here today. And with all of that being said, go ahead and pause the video if you still need a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 1. Hello, my beautiful group number 1, those of you that chose the questing beast here as your messenger. This reading is for you. And we are going to look at what messages the questing beast has for you from Camelot today. You guys also chose the Algi's rune. And this here has a lot to do with protection. It has a lot to do with courage, a lot to do with bravery, and kind of facing difficulties. It has a lot to do with independence and defense, or defending yourself or your independence or something that you believe in. Okay, so with the questing beast here, this is telling me that you guys are being tested. Okay, I feel like group number 1, a lot of you guys may even know or recognize or feel that you are being tested. There's definitely something here about facing certain challenges and needing to follow through with something. So I do feel group number 1 that the questing beast is presenting itself because it wants to assure you that you are on the right path, but there's definitely a message here for you about needing to continue pushing through. So you guys may be at a space in a certain area of your life where you're feeling like you want to give up, or you're feeling like you're wasting your time, or starting to question or doubt whether or not you are on the right path or in the right place. And the questing beast really wants to assure you that you are definitely on the right path, and that there is no such thing as a path where you won't face adversity, where you will not have obstacles or challenges that you have to overcome. And there is kind of this essence of testing, of being tested, to kind of see how bad you really want something, or testing your courage, or testing even your skills for some of you, depending on where this is at within your life and within your kind of environment. But there's definitely something here where it's like you're being tested, and it's creating a lot of resistance, but the questing beast really wants you to find a way to overcome this, to find a way to push through these obstacles, and to follow something to completion is the biggest message here. Like really finding a way to follow through or to complete some sort of path or mission or kind of chapter even for some of you guys. So there is kind of some questions here that I'd like you to ask yourself in regards to whatever this is referring to for you, as it is going to be different for everybody. This is a general reading, but group number one, this could definitely be being tested in your career path or in your relationships, whether romantic or platonic. This can be testing you in your skills or in your ability to trust your intuition or your abilities spiritually, or having faith or hope for the future, even for some of you guys. So depending on your situation, I'd really want to ask you guys, like, why did you decide? Well, the questing beast, I guess, really wants to ask you guys, why did you decide to follow me? Why did you decide to go down this path? What was it that initiated that spark or that first step? And there's a need to kind of remember that, and to really, you know, for a lot of you guys, maybe write this down, you know, grab a notebook and write these questions down, and find those answers within you. Because if you don't have the answers to the questions that are going to bring you clarity and direction and purpose, then you will spend a lot of time feeling very lost and feeling very confused and feeling very doubtful on whether or not you are moving in the right direction or taking the right actions. Okay, so why did you decide to follow the questing beast? Why did you decide to take this path? What emotions were tied to it? What was the mindset? What was your current environment or situation when you first initiated this path? Or what kind of sparked that kind of desire? We also have here like this need to find like what the true nature of this quest is. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're beginning a new quest, or you're on a part of your quest where you're being asked to maybe reevaluate or to remember why you started. Maybe you've gotten taken off track. Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe you're having a hard time putting your priorities in the right place. So there is like this message here to really need to remember why you started doing this, or remember what it is you wanted to accomplish in the beginning, even if you're just starting. So for some of you guys, group number one, this is a calling for you. This is a calling to finally follow that desire or that passion or that hobby or that calling that you've been resistant to. Okay, so there may be resistant energy within you or within your life in regards to starting something new, or starting a new path or a new quest, if you will. And if that's the case for you, then there's really a need to kind of push through that hesitation or that resistance to start for group number one. So let's go ahead here and pull some more cards for you guys. But I also want to ask you, like, what is it that you're really seeking? What is it that you really are desiring, that you really want? What is it that you really want within your life, that you're hoping for, I guess, group number one. As well as, you know, kind of challenging yourself here and asking yourself, like, what are you most afraid of? Like, what is causing this resistance? And gaining clarity in that aspect of this as well. Let's go ahead here and pull some more tarot and go a little deeper into this message for group number one. What the questing beast wants to say to you at this time, what the questing beast wants you to know for group number one. So for some of you guys, there may be kind of this energy within your life where it's like something, it almost feels like something happened to you, or this path happened to you. And that's because with the questing beast here, this is an energy of something being so strong, something, it's almost like a sense of divine intervention for some of you guys, but there's this essence, like there's this idea that you can't find the questing beast, but the questing beast will find you, and the questing beast has found you, and that is very significant. You guys are meant for this path, you're meant for this purpose, you're meant for this mission, whatever this is for you, and it's very significant to kind of your soul's journey and to the kind of quest, the hollow quest, if you will. So some of you guys may have been on this journey for about a year at this time, or the year in front of you is going to be very significant to this journey that you're being asked to start. Interesting. Let's go ahead and see here. We have, starting off, we have the Spear Hollow. Yeah, there is activations, there is initiation, there is new life here. So you're really being asked to pursue whatever this is, like for sure, pursue this, take action, allow yourself to direct your energy in this direction, whatever direction this is for you, and allow that kind of momentum to burn away the doubt that keeps you from moving forward. The only thing that's going to allow you to dissolve this doubt is by taking the steps that you're scared to take right now and finding out that on the other side of it, there was no reason for doubt, or that your doubts were maybe misplaced, or you know, that kind of energy here. We also have the moon. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery here. So a lot of you guys, group number 1, you may have this idea that, like, because you can't see what's on the other side, or because you can't see the finish line, then you're just not going to start, right? There's too much what if, there's too much mystery, there's too much unknown. And again, the questing beast here is saying, like, if you never take a step, then you're never going to have those answers. If you don't move towards what's going to bring those answers in, then you're never going to be able to see those answers. And so again, there's like this blockage, this resistance to moving forward out of this idea that, out of this kind of this unsure energy, like, so group number 1, you guys may really struggle with this in many areas of your life, or you may find this coming up in different areas of your life, where if you don't have like very solid answers, or a very solid kind of plan of action, and what the steps are to get there, and where you're going, and what the outcome's going to be for sure, then you just don't allow yourself to take that risk. So really, the questing beast here is saying, take this risk, allow yourself to swim upstream, allow yourself to go against the grain, to go against the way that maybe you've always done things, and to step into the unknown. Like, really a need to release this sense of needing this rock solid certainty, this rigidity around this need for structure is something that's holding you back here, group number 1. And I feel for a lot of you guys that this could definitely be kind of fear driven, right? And this could also be driven by this sense of a lack of faith, or a lack of hope, a lack of trust even, for some of you guys. So this could come out in your inability to trust your intuition, your inability to trust the guidance that you've been given, or to trust the calling, to trust like this pull inside of you. A lot of you guys may even have a hard time trusting your own emotions, and maybe even kind of suppress them, or treat them as though they are insignificant, or that they're useless, or that they don't actually contribute anything to your reality. And the questing beast here is saying, like, for you, group number 1, and I believe in some ways for the entire collective, for everybody, our emotions are how spirit speaks to us, right? They're the kind of messages and the communication that's unknown, that's unseen, that we can't quite put into words, and that we can't quite describe in a way that is to like the fullest description, if you will, if that makes sense. And there's something here about like spirit, or your guides, or even like your soul speaking to you through your emotions. So it's like you've shut the door off to the communication, to source, to spirit, to God, to the divine, to whatever it is that you believe in, out of this idea or this belief system that tells you that your emotions are going to get you in trouble, or your emotions are something to be afraid of, or that there's something that you should hide away. And group number 1, this could come from your childhood, this could come from patterning. So if you find that if you begin feeling emotions, or you begin feeling like you want to cry, and you find yourself like holding that back in your throat or in your chest, this could be kind of a sign for you that you are resisting the communication from spirit that is trying to lead you in the direction that is best for you, that is kind of like your purpose, or something that's going to bring you a lot of passion, or a lot of life back into your life, if that makes sense. We also have here Sword 8. Yeah, there's that restriction. There's that energy of limiting beliefs, of this idea that you are trapped and that you cannot go outside of this train of thought. You cannot go outside of the way that things have always been, or the way that you know will work, because there's too much room for things to go wrong, right? So yeah, the questing beast here is saying like it's time to overcome these challenges, these obstacles that have been presented to you. It's time to kind of break free of some limiting beliefs. It's time to break free from this resistance. Feels very strong for group number 1, and there's a need to kind of again go against the grain, to allow yourself to step into the unknown, to trust the mystery of life, to move towards something that you feel very called to, especially through your emotional body, and allow yourself to open up to your emotions and what they're trying to tell you, because your emotions are like your map and there's a need to follow them. The questing beast comes to you through your emotional body, and there's a need to follow that for you, group number 1. Interesting. So your mind is going to fight against that for a period of time until they kind of get on the same page. Your mind is going to tell you not to follow your heart. Your mind is going to kind of tell you that that's illogical, or that it's too dangerous, or it's too risky, or there's too much to lose, or however that comes through for you, because there's so much unknown. But again, the questing beast is coming forth here saying it's time to kind of harness this energy and this courage and allow yourself to take a risk. So let's pull some more cards for group number 1 and see what else the questing beast wants you to know at this time. For group number 1, we have disruption. Yeah, there is a need again to go upstream, to go against the grain, to allow yourself to do things different, to disrupt the structure, to shake things up. Group number 1, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind that a big part of this message from the questing beast is to go against the grain, to do things differently, to rebel, even kind of that rebellious energy coming in here a little bit. We also, with the moon here, have some Pisces energy coming through here, which talks about our connection to the divine and to spirit, which again, I feel for group number 1, at least for group number 1, that spirit, the divine, your intuition, you know, all of that speaks to you through your emotions. And if you don't allow yourself to feel or process your emotions, then it's almost as though you are walking through life very blind, right? Even in the traditional 8 of Swords card, she's blindfolded, and only taking the steps that are safe, or taking the steps that are going to keep you in this safe zone or in this structure. And there's a need to step outside of that. There's no doubt in my mind, group number 1, that in order to do some things, sometimes we have to come at it from a different direction or from a different way. So in order to get to the heart space, maybe you need to move through, you know, life in a way that's opposing how you've always done it, to come out of the mental body and into the emotional body. There's definitely a need to kind of come at this from, you know, from the back door, or from a direction that you wouldn't normally go. And it's almost like this essence of needing to trick yourself into allowing yourself to open this door, or to allow this activation to ignite within you. Interesting. Okay, we also have, we have 2 cards that want to come out here. That is fine. We have Blauwed with manifestation, authenticity, renewal, and freedom. Yeah, there's definitely like this sense of freedom that, and this is also number 33 for anybody who resonates with that, but there's definitely this sense of needing to find who you truly are, or why you're truly doing the things that you're doing, whether they're things that you've always done or the things that you're scared to do. Like, why is it that you do the things that you do? And there's a real need to figure out if you're doing them because they're safe, or because you feel like that's the most logical reason, and if that is in line with what your heart truly desires or not. Because I feel for a lot of you guys that it maybe isn't, and that there's a need to free yourself from this idea or this belief system that you have to stay in line in order to be successful or viewed as successful within your life. The owl may also be kind of a spirit animal guide for you guys at this time. And we also have Morgan Le Fay. I love it. Prophecy, magic, fate, and intuition. Again, we have this idea that there is a need to allow these parts of yourself to speak to you and to allow yourself to trust and to listen to them. Whereas group number one, I feel like for a lot of you guys, even if you've, heard the messages or received the downloads, you don't allow yourself to follow that. And there's a big energy with the questing beast of needing to follow the guidance, needing to follow the directions that you're being led. And for a lot of you guys, you've been resisting that. Okay, let's pull you one final card here for group number one. Any last guidance or advice that the questing beast wants you to have for group number one, please? We have Moon 9, the moon of dedication. Yeah. So some of you guys may be fighting through a fear of commitment, if you will, an inability to stay dedicated or to continue down a path to see something all the way through. As I said previously, there is like this need to follow through, this need to allow yourself to bring something into completion. And for a lot of you guys, it's like, again, if you can't see that finish line, if you can't see how it ends, then you don't allow yourself to even start it. So I feel for a lot of you guys that the questing beast here has a lot to do with kind of getting you to start down a path that you can't see the finish line to. I'm also going to look this card up here see what its associations are, because this is Rhiannon energy, okay, which I kind of figured here. She's a goddess energy here, but this is the first full moon when the sun is in Cancer, the full moon in Capricorn, which Capricorn energy definitely has a lot to do with that structure. And that security, and in Cancer season, this can embrace our home and our ability to feel safe. So for a lot of you guys, there is a message here to find a way to feel safe without having, like, there's a need to find safety within yourself, this stability within yourself, instead of relying on this structure or these limiting beliefs as a form of protection. So a lot of you guys maybe hold on to a lot of past energies or a lot of past experiences as well as a form of protection that keep you from taking risks, that keeps you from kind of disrupting the way that things are. And there's a need to really allow yourself to break free from whatever kind of mindset or belief system it is that tells you that this is how you stay safe. Because for a lot of you guys, the safety that you're craving is something that you can find within yourself. And I feel for a lot of you guys, maybe you're only seeking it in your environment or in the world around you. And it may be working, but it's keeping you from living up to your fullest potential or living up to your purpose. Even for some of you guys, it's keeping you from living an authentic kind of life here. Interesting. So yeah, big message here is to ask for what you need, to let go of this need for control, to let go of this idea that everything has to happen in a certain way, or it has to happen in the way that you would expect it to. There's really a need to let go of control, really a need to allow yourself to take this risk. That's the biggest message here, but that is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number one. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know if you chose this pile. Consider subscribing or joining the channel if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello, my beautiful group number two. Those of you that chose pile number two with the Great Ho rune here. And Blaze as your messenger. This reading is for you, and Blaze is going to bring forth the messages from Camelot that you need to hear right now. So starting off here, you guys, we're going to start off with talking about this rune in particular. This is the rune of kind of your path, the rune of your journey, the rune of moving down your path, to be a little bit more specific. And it can also really deal with like the natural rhythm or movement of life, and like going through the seasons and the changes of life as well. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you may be going through like this period of transformation from like one version of yourself to another version of yourself, because of who this Blaze energy is. So that moves us into kind of talking a little bit about who this messenger is for you guys. And Blaze is kind of a prophet or a visionary, a knight turned hermit type energy here, where he holds so much insight, kind of as a mentor or somebody to console in, coming forth here, as well as this messenger is someone who, you know, is kind of known for being the guidance for Merlin, and as well as being a knight of the round table, as well as being a hermit. And there's almost this essence of being in a doorway or a portal, even for some of you guys, like being in this state of in between. And for some of you guys, this could be spiritually. This could mean that you guys are entering into a period of activated like mediumship or spiritual communication, or having the ability to step in and out of almost like spiritual realms, or even astral projection. And for some of you guys, this could be more kind of metaphorical, to where this is playing out in your physical everyday life, where you are feeling like you're in between, like you are in between jobs, like you are in between skills, like you are in between like the older version of yourself and who you want to be, kind of in this threshold type energy. And Blaze is coming forth here to assure you that even though sometimes change is necessary, that's the only way that we can gain more insight, that we can gain more knowledge, that we can truly tap into who we really are and what our skills are, and enhance them, is by experiencing these different seasons of life, right? So a few questions that Blaze brings forth is, you know, what is your true skill in life? So I do feel for a lot of you guys that there is a skill or a calling that's coming through here for you guys, asking you to dive deeper into it. You guys may also have a very strong connection to like the Akashic, or even like the ability to tap into past life memories. And if not, that may be something that brings you a lot of clarity or a lot of information that you've been seeking. How do the difficulties facing you provoke your passions and creativity? So are there certain things that are being presented to you that maybe you're resisting, that maybe you are avoiding, that can potentially activate new skills, that can potentially deepen your passion or your creative skills, problem-solving skills? So is it that whatever this is that is provoking you or challenging you is something that you can't face, or is it that you're scared to face the kind of process or the season of learning and growing in order to be able to then handle this challenge being presented to you? Because a lot of the times the problem isn't the challenge or the obstacle that we're being presented. The problem comes in when we have to apply ourselves to learn new things, to follow through with, you know, obtaining new skills and new information. It's the journey or the process from the unknown to the understanding that a lot of the times challenges us the most. And so is there any place in your life, group number 2, where you are resisting moving in a certain direction or overcoming a certain obstacle because there's fear of the process to get there, out of this idea that you might not be good enough, or, you know, maybe you're not there. I'm really feeling like the sense of, I don't want to go back to school because I might fail, or I don't want to apply myself to this skill because I don't think I'll ever be good enough, or maybe you compare yourself to other people. I don't think I'll ever be as good as this person, or be able to accomplish the things that this other person did, so I'm just not going to go there. And there's something here where Blaze is really saying, like, it's time to take this journey in order to step into a new season of life. We also have here, like, where are you giving your power away, group number 2? Where, and for a lot of you guys, this could definitely be in, like, this idea that you are allowing other people to dictate the choices you make by their own level of success or their own level of skill or talent in certain areas. And it's like you compare yourself to other people in a way where it's like, okay, well, I might be as good as this person, so maybe I can do this task or take this action, but I'm not as good as this other person, and I don't think I'll ever be able to be this good, and so I'm not going to try going down this path, because if I fail, or if I can't live up to being as good as this other person, then I'm going to feel embarrassed, or I'm going to feel lesser than, so I'm just not going to allow myself. And that's where you're giving your power away. You're giving your power away to people or to energies that maybe aren't even necessarily, like, willingly taking your power away, but it's like there's definitely something here, group number 2, where you've been giving your power away and it's keeping you still or stagnant. You guys may be feeling like you're stuck in a rut, or again, kind of stuck in this in between, like you're not sure who you are, or who you want to be, or what you want to do, or where you want to go in life. Yeah, so whatever it is that you're waiting for, that you, or maybe that you're even wanting in your life, is being delayed because of your own reservations, because of your own fear of the process of obtaining it, essentially. But let's go ahead here, group number 2, and pull some more cards and see what else Blaze wants you to know at this time. Let's go a little deeper into this message. So starting off, we have the Spear 3. Yeah, there's a need for exploration. There is a need to stop waiting, a need to find a way to kind of overcome the hesitation that holds you back and allow yourself to explore new territory or new land that you've been kind of, you know, holding yourself back at. It's like always taking the same path or the same place, the same roads, the same path, the same way to work or to the store. There's definitely, so for some of you guys, if this is resonating with you and this is something that you've been struggling with, allowing yourself to just, you know, take a different route to work or to the grocery store, allow yourself to begin expanding in ways that are smaller and more manageable, in order to kind of overcome that initial shock or that initial fear of change. Doing things differently, allowing yourself to change your schedule in ways that don't maybe trigger you too much, but enough to get things kind of moving, to get energy moving, to get things shifting. There's a real need for this, to allow yourself to explore new territory, to see new things, to come into contact with new energies. We also have the Wounded King here. And Sovereignty. Okay, so group number 2, what I really see here is that the biggest kind of challenge that you're facing is allowing yourself to go outside of your comfort zone. We see that here with the Spear of 3, but in the same token, it's creating this sense of deterioration in your life, and this could be coming through in many different ways for different people, different messages for different people. But with this, what I'm really seeing is like this idea that the more you hold back, the more you resist this movement or these changes in seasons or stepping through that doorway, the more kind of conflict you're creating in the life that you're currently living, because your soul, your spirit, your energy is trying to expand and to grow and to explore. And it's like you're keeping it trapped inside this box. And the more you keep it trapped, the more it's going to create conflict and resistance and even maybe anger and these types of energies within the life that you're living, within your relationships, within your job, within, you know, your practices, within your creativity. Some of you guys may be experiencing like creative blocks or feeling very, again, very stagnant or very stuck. And this is because you're not allowing yourself to come into contact with new energies, new land, new territory, new ideas, because you're so stuck in this structure or this routine. So in order to balance this out, again, there is a need to kind of become aware of where you're not allowing yourself to go outside of your comfort zone. For some of you guys, this could be like not allowing yourself to be social, not allowing yourself to connect to new people, not allowing yourself to experience new things because you tell yourself you don't have the resources or you don't have the time or you don't have the energy. Where are you keeping yourself restricted and like making these excuses for why you're doing this so that it is justified? So there's this idea of like justifying your stagnancy here, group number 2, that Blaze is really asking you to become aware of so that you can continue going through this transformation and step into the next season of your life, of your purpose, of your passion, and come out of this stuck energy. So let's go ahead and pull some more cards for group number 2. We have the Eagle coming out. Spirit, integrity, connection to the angelic realm. Yeah, there's definitely some connection here to the spiritual realm, to the Akashic mediumship abilities for some of you guys. But also this idea of like needing to zoom out, right? Needing to fly above, to rise above your current or present moment, because there's definitely something here, group number 2, where it's like you're not able to see anything beyond like where you're currently at. Like there's I feel like huge blockages. It's like mountains around you where you're not able to see that there are other ways or that there is different paths that you could take. So with the Eagle here, you can, you know, kind of rise above and zoom out. There's a need to zoom out here because you're looking at things far too maybe literally or far too logically or far too closely, and it's like you're missing something. You're missing the way out. You're missing the new path. You're missing the communication or the messages behind something that's going on around you, because you're so stuck in this one mindset, this one path, or this one idea of what life is supposed to be. Interesting. So also with the Eagle, I always get like this sense of freedom here. So group number 2, there is like this craving for freedom. A lot of you guys may be feeling very restricted or feeling like you don't have freedom of choice or freedom of thought because this is the way things have always been. This is the way they have to be in order for life to run smoothly or for myself to be viewed as successful. So it doesn't matter. I'm tied to this reality, and you're not. You're not, group number 2. So there's a need to kind of work with that energy and to work with zooming out and seeing like the other possibilities that are at hand here. Interesting. We also have Lancelot with devotion, chivalry, heroism, and romance. So group number 2, I do feel for a lot of you guys that there is something here with a relationship. For some of you guys, it could be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. And this could be like learning how to navigate a relationship, especially with sovereignty here, like learning how. Okay, so group number 2, really, I guess the overall message, regardless of whether this is in a relationship or anywhere else, is a need for balance, a need for balancing like this structure and this kind of free flow type energy here. And for some of you guys, it may really be very present to you in your relationships. You may have experienced a lot of relationships where it's like, this is how things are, this is how things have always been, and if I change or they change, then it's the end of the relationship. There's been an inability to grow with or to integrate with new energies. Interesting. So you guys may have also experienced a lot of relationships or relationship dynamics where it's like either you need somebody to save you or the other person needed you to save them. Kind of this idea of what a relationship is like you swoop in and pick this person up off of their, you know, out of their rock bottom and help them achieve success or help them grow or help them be better. But it's like you help other people grow up to your level, and then maybe things end, and it's like you've never outgrown where you are. And maybe a lot of people have outgrown you, or a lot of people have grown away from you in a sense. And I feel like a big part of this is because you get to a certain level, or you ascend to a certain space, but you don't allow yourself to expand any further than that. Interesting. So again, we're led up to this kind of threshold energy here. So you guys may be the kind of people, or in the kind of energy where it's like you have to help save other people, or you have to be viewed as the savior, or as the hero, or as the person that changed somebody else's life. Let's go ahead and pull another card here. So there's like really this overall kind of message here from Blaze group number 2 saying like it's time to outgrow the life that you've been living. It's time to allow yourself to outgrow the life that you've been living. And then we also have Blauwde coming through here. With the owls. So there's something significant about birds for you guys. They could be different birds. They could be the owls or the eagle. But they don't have to be. But what I really see here is like sometimes when we sometimes when we allow ourselves to outgrow our environment or our relationships, when we allow ourselves to do things that maybe we don't necessarily want to do, but we know we are, you know, meant to do them, or, you know, we are trying to do the right thing, because it's always the right thing to do is always the hardest choices, right? So you guys may be facing some sort of energy like that, where it's like, you don't want to make the right choice, or you don't want to do the right thing because it's going to hurt your heart, or it's going to maybe hurt somebody else depending on the situation. But there's a need to kind of do it anyway. Almost like the sense of duty or the sense of honor coming through here, being devoted to doing the right thing, being devoted to moving forward or growing, moving into this state of transformation within your life, even though that means that other things are going to change, or that maybe you're going to lose certain relationships, or that, you know, maybe you're going to have to change jobs. There's something here where it's like there's a huge resistance to your own evolution out of the repercussions that it's going to have. But Blaze is coming through here saying like there is a need to have this dedication to your own growth, and this dedication to allowing the seasons of your life to change. Interesting. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 3. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose this pile. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if there are any other readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing or joining the channel if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 3. Those of you that chose King Arthur here, this reading is for you. So we are bringing forth messages from Camelot through the messenger of Arthur for you guys. And you also chose the Hagalaz rune here. And so starting off here, this particular rune has a lot to do with change, with disruption, with endings and beginnings. I'm kind of getting this essence of like a meeting point, or even a sense of balance for some of you guys, which is interesting. With Arthur here, there is a strong sense of power. So for some of you guys, there is a need to take your power back. I am feeling a very strong energy of like authority issues. So some of you guys may really struggle with, you may really struggle with, being told what to do or being told what you should do. And you may have this tendency to react to those things to the extreme, like by doing the extreme opposite or the extreme other thing. Like if somebody says yes, it's like you have to go all the way, like as far no as you can type energy here coming through here that Arthur wants to talk to you about. Interesting. So I also feel for some of you guys that you may be at kind of this point in some area of your life where it's like you are advancing in a way. It's almost like from student to teacher, or from employee to employer, or from child to parent almost type energy here. So there is this sense of like advancement from the essence of like this space where you have these authority issues to a place of having authority. Some of you guys may even have like past life situations or energies where you experienced a lot of authority kind of issues as well, and that may be part of why it's so intense in this lifetime. But with Arthur here, this is about, there's this energy with Arthur, he created the round table where everybody stood shoulder to shoulder and everybody was viewed as equal, man, woman, child, parent. There's this idea of equality, this idea of, nobody's status or position makes you better than or less than anybody else. Your needs are just as valid, are just as recognized as somebody else's needs. So there's this idea here with Arthur coming through here that I really feel for a lot of you guys, you may struggle with a wounded masculine energy. This could have happened in your childhood. You may have like issues with a father or a father figure as well for some of you guys. And I feel like you're at this point in your life where your masculine and feminine energy are trying to come together, or you're being asked to view your masculine and feminine energy within you as equals, to see all parts of yourself as equal. So treating your body, mind, spirit, emotions, as equal parts of yourself is a big message coming through here from Arthur. Interesting. Wow, okay. So there is this like need to kind of turn all of your external assessments, your external judgments, your external kind of view of seeing other people as equal, or like what has power over what, or what seems more important, or who has more status, or who has more pull, and like turn that perception inwards and view yourself in kind of this same dynamic. Like, what parts of yourself are you giving more power to and taking power away from other parts of yourself? What parts of yourself are you saying are less important than other aspects of yourself? Like, there's a huge need to assess yourself in this manner, and that's something that Arthur is wanting to come forth and talk to you about. And I feel like this has a lot to do with balancing out your masculine and feminine energy, or healing a wounded masculine energy. You guys may have dealt with a lot of very wounded masculine people within your life, or have had a lot of masculine people, or even kind of a masculine in the sense of like twin flame or soulmate, or however you view that, kind of spiritual connection partner come into your life to present to you your own wounded masculine energy. You guys may have dealt with a lot of abusive connections or relationships, or have even been in jobs where your boss maybe looked down to you or treated you lesser than because they were the business owner or the boss or had that title. Interesting. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot and go a little deeper into this message that Arthur wants to bring forth for you today, group number 3. So I am also feeling like I said, there's this sense of needing to take your power back for some of you guys, taking your power back from some sort of authority figure or some sort of issue or experience that you had in the past that took your... But it for some of you guys maybe took your choice away, or made you feel like you didn't have a choice but to fall in line or conform. And also like working with dragon's blood in your practices, or even like incense and meditations and things like that may be very, very good in helping you pinpoint where your power actually is, because for some of you guys, you may not even know or recognize where you've given your power away, whether this be externally or internally, where you've given parts of yourself more power than other parts of yourself. But let's go ahead. Wow, look at this. We have Merlin. Yeah, I feel like you guys have definitely dealt with a lot of manipulative energies, a lot of kind of trickster energies, a lot of situations or relationships within your life where it's like you maybe believed that somebody was going to be something or do something, but then they maybe turned around and made you feel lesser than again, or like manipulated you into kind of falling into that subservient or even servant type energy. Interesting. And now Arthur's coming forth here saying like it's time to switch these roles. It's time, not even so much switch these roles in a way where like you become the abuser or the manipulator or, you know, toxic or anything like that. I never want to encourage anybody to be that, but it's like this role is switching in a sense where it's like taking Merlin or the magician here from reverse to upright. Kind of being in control of your own power instead of needing the control of others, or needing others to be in control of you, or being stuck in that kind of dynamic anyways. I hope that makes sense for you. We also have the Star coming out, which speaks of healing, of hope for the future, of change, of disruption, which we have here with your rune as well. This is this particular deck here, the Star, is talking about the vision of the future, the prophetic kind of coming of the Pendragon era. So it's like your time is coming, group number 3, and Arthur wants you to know that like your time is coming, your time to shine is coming, your time of magic, of power is coming, and to continue healing and to believe in yourself. There's really a need to believe in yourself, as well as like with Merlin and the Star here, there is a huge sense of kind of like make a wish, right? Anything you desire will be yours at this time, this energy of manifestation. Some of you guys may really resonate with Aquarian energy or have heavy Aquarian energy within your chart. especially in the moon, but it doesn't have to be, with that idea of that rebellious energy, or of having to go like to the extreme opposite end of the spectrum when somebody tells you what you should be doing or tells you what to do. Definitely kind of Aquarian energy here. We also have Taliesin coming forth. Wow, so you guys got all 3 major arcana, which is crazy. So this is a big change, a big kind of ending to a chapter, I feel, for group number 3 coming through here. Like the ending to the story that you are the victim, the ending to this idea that you have no control or no say-so over your life and what you become and what you want to be. So with Taliesin here, group number 3, this is telling me here, like, Arthur wants you guys to rewrite your story, to, you know, rewrite history even. Change the way you view yourself, change the way you tell your story, because for a lot of you guys, the way you tell your story has a lot to do with the way you believe about yourself, like what you believe about yourself and what you believe you're capable of. And there's something here where it's like you are finally taking back your power, and you're capable of anything, and you're able to manifest and create and kind of interesting. I just keep hearing like rewrite history. So for some of you guys, you know, if you resonate with like that past life authoritative issue energy, maybe you are healing from those past lives as well. But there's also something here about like breaking a chain, like no longer allowing something to continue. And that's going to be different things for different people, but I feel like it all comes back to changing the way you speak about or to yourself, changing that narrative in your voice, in your mind, like that voice in your mind, or that narrative, that internal narrative that says I can't, I won't, I'm too scared to, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, whatever it is. There's a need to change like that inner narrative and that story that you tell yourself about what you can and can't accomplish, and that's going to really radiate externally. And not only is it going to help you heal the wounded masculine and balance out the energies within yourself, but it's also going to help you heal your connection to this world and the way you interact with this world. So this is very big for group number 3. You guys are going through a very big kind of ascension, awakening period where you're not only healing your present self, but healing your past self and recreating your future at the same time. Interesting. So there's definitely like this essence of like time overlapping here, of really just rewriting your history, rewriting your future, and rewriting your present moment. And that's going to mean different things to different people, but for a lot of you, I hear you being like, what does that even mean? And this doesn't mean that you're like changing the life that you lived, but it means that you are going to be able to see the life that you lived from a different angle, in a way where it's like, okay, say you lived this life, and in your kind of first person perspective, it seemed maybe very normal, very mundane. You got up and went to work every day, you had kids, you you retired, etc. Very normal, very mundane life. And when you rewrite this history, when you kind of rewrite your future and go through this transformation, it's like you're going to be able to view this same life but see very different experiences. And I'm having a hard time like articulating this. Like, you maybe lived as a peasant, if you will, or even, okay, I'm sorry, let me slow down here. Merlin, the Merlin show on Netflix, if any of you have seen it, let me know down below. But using that as an example, he lived in this kind of very almost poor setting, in this servant type energy, but was the most powerful person like in the world. but very humble and very kind of lived a very mundane life, but had the ability to change the world, to change the future, and to rewrite history, essentially. And it's like you guys are coming into this energy. And he served Arthur. He was Arthur's servant. And you know, from the outside looking in, or from first person view, you know, somebody may get caught up in this idea that I'm nothing, I'm lesser than, I don't have the status or the authority to be anything, and I'm at the will and the mercy of everybody around me. Or, you know, you can view this life as, you know, I am the most powerful person I know. I have the ability to save lives and to change the course of history, even though other people may view me as just a servant, or even though I may look like a peasant, or like I'm poor, or whatever. There's just something here about being very multifaceted, and coming into this ability to be able to see your life from a different perspective, being able to see the power you hold instead of telling yourself that you have no power or you have no control of your life. I hope that makes sense for you guys. If you need more clarification, please let me know down below. Again, I was having a hard time kind of articulating the energies that I'm feeling here, but let's go ahead and pull some more cards for you. Group number 3. We have love. Union. Yeah, there's definitely something here about advancement, or like moving to the next level, to the next position, whether this is coming from student to teacher, from you know, boyfriend, girlfriend to fiance, from fiance to husband or wife, or from child to parent, or however this is. There's a sense of union, and coming into union with something that you've been very, it's almost like very hurt by for some of you guys, especially if this is like, maybe you experience these authoritative kind of issues from your father or a father figure, and now you're becoming a father, or becoming that authoritative energy that you had previously had like such a negative experience with, or what you viewed as a negative experience with. And there's like this essence of breaking, for some of you guys, this is about breaking generational cycles. This is about, there's something very huge here about breaking some sort of cycle, some sort of pattern, and transforming not only your own kind of wounded masculine energy or your imbalanced energies within you, but also transforming them externally in some way, shape, or form, like not handing down that generational trauma, or not becoming what it, like there's this saying like hurt people, and it's like breaking that chain, like healing yourself enough to not pass on that pain to somebody else. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Some of you guys may be coming into union with a twin flame or soulmate connection. But overall, collectively for this pile, there's something very significant about bringing all aspects of yourself into balance, and no longer holding different aspects of yourself at a higher level or a lower level than others. Your masculine, your feminine, your higher self, your shadow self, your inner child, you know, all aspects of yourself, and really balancing those out, I feel. And if you've been wondering where to focus, or how to get your manifestations to come through better or more or at all, or how to be able to see where you're meant to go or what you're meant to be doing, or, you know, how to tell your story, this is where you need to start. Group number 3 is by viewing all parts of yourself as equal. Let's pull another card. We have Rhiannon coming through here with endurance, focus, integrity, and perseverance. Yes. Yeah, so there's something here where it's like this new chapter, this new phase of your life is a phase of your life that's going to take you into something that is very long-lived, into the sense of longevity, into the sense of something that's going to take endurance to continue climbing this staircase, that's going to take perseverance. You know, for some of you guys, whether it be literally or metaphorically, viewing this as like a marriage, again, with this kind of love and this union energy here, like marrying the energies within you. Typically when we look at a marriage, it's very long-lived, or even for some people it's a lifetime. Now this doesn't mean that you have to commit to a lifetime, because for a lot of people that just isn't right, and that's okay if that's just not right for you. But there's something here about like maybe making a 5-year plan for some of you guys. What do you want to accomplish in 5 years? For some of you guys, maybe it's a book. There's something here about needing to find something in the future that you want to manifest, that you want to create, and allowing yourself to persevere towards that and to come into union with it. Interesting. Let's pull one last card for group number 3. Any last guidance or advice from Arthur for my beautiful group number 3? Okay, so we have Moon 7 here. And this is the moon of revelation. And for a lot of you guys, this is going to be a lot of revelations about how you've maybe created the life that you're living, or how you've kept yourself subservient to the life that you're in out of your belief system, or out of this idea that you have to live this way in order to rebel against another way of life, or to rebel against something that you were told, or something that you were told to do. Or like maybe some of you guys experience this idea of your parents or authoritative figures telling you how you had to live your life, or what you had to become, and it's like you've spent your life trying to prove that you're not going to conform or fall in line, in a sense where it's like this authoritative trauma has made all of your decisions for you, and there's this need to find this balance in between there. So like maybe you don't want to live the life that you were told you had to live, but that doesn't mean you only have the option to live the complete opposite kind of life as that. Like maybe you don't want to grow up and be the lawyer or the doctor that your parents told you you had to be, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a passion for justice or honor or integrity, right? Like there's something here where it's like you have to find your own ground here, instead of only allowing your trauma or your authoritative figure issues, or like this wounded masculine, to make the decisions for you to be only able to live in that complete and total opposing force. Because there's a whole scale, group number 3, there's a whole scale between what you were told to do and this complete and total opposing force. And you don't have to be only in that extreme opposite. I hope that makes sense. So again, there's this need to find this balance, to find what you want, to live in your own path and in your own desires, instead of only making decisions based on being not what somebody else wants you to be, or based on proving somebody else wrong, or based off of something or someone else here, right? Finding your own path, being your own authority, because even if you're living your life in the sense where you're doing the extreme opposite thing of what you were told to do, you're still allowing that person or that energy to have that authority over you. But this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 3. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose pile number 3. Let me know what other kinds of readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 4. Those of you that chose pile number 4 here with boars as your Camelot messenger, and the Perthro rune. Yes, per throw rune, which is very kind of signifying of fate, of good omens, of the unknown, of the occult, kind of the mysteries of life. And for a lot of you guys, something that I'm really getting from this, along with in correspondence to boars here, is like this idea of kind of for a lot of you guys, this may have to do with a fear of death or a fear of what comes after life. There's something that is coming through here that Boris wants to talk about that, but there's also you know, the energy of boars, and there is this essence of humanity that comes along with boars. Very family driven, very loyal, very honorable, but there's this, I don't even know how to say what I'm feeling here, group number 4, and this may be something that you guys really experience. There is something here where you guys may really have a difficult time being present, or even connecting to this physical world. You guys, you could be my air signs or have a lot of air placements within your birth chart, or just have a very strong connection to spirit, or even for some of you guys, this is about getting very stuck in your head, or getting very stuck in memories, or in this idea of, you know, how you want things to go, constantly playing out situations or conversations in your head to try to prepare for every potential possibility. And it's like there's a lot of pulling yourself out of the present moment, trying to relive something or trying to prepare for something that hasn't and may not ever even happen. So there is kind of a huge message here from boars about like really needing to be present, but also with this aspect of family. I feel like group number 4, you guys have maybe been searching for significant relationships, whether they be romantic or not. Is going to be different for everybody, but it doesn't really matter. There's just this energy here of like trying to find your support team, trying to find the people that lift you up, trying to find a like-minded group, trying to find, for some of you guys, maybe even like a coven or a spiritual group that you resonate with, that you can be more open about your beliefs or your religion in. And I feel for a lot of you guys that Boris is coming through here saying like it's time to maybe search for that support team, or to acknowledge the support team that you have, depending on your situation here. There's also like this idea of asking yourself, group number 4, like, what do you have to offer, or what do you have to give? And gratitude coming through here as well. So group number 4, I feel like there is this sense of needing to find what it is you have, like, because there's this idea that our purpose always serves others in some way, shape, or form, whether it be something that we're doing because of our own passions, because it's something that we love, it impacts other people, right? And how are you impacting other people with what you are doing? If it's art, what emotions or what impact does it have on your community? You know, if, you know, whatever it is, there's something here about really needing to become aware of what it is you have to offer to society, to the community, to a group, or whatever it is. For some of you guys, maybe you've been trying to find that. I feel like group number 4, you guys are like my light workers. You guys are like my supernatural beings that resonate with being star seeds, or coming from different kind of life forces, or having a very strong connection to very significant kind of energies or spiritual connections to like Atlantis or Egypt, or like the very powerful kind of spiritual essences that we have come to know here in this lifetime. I feel like you guys have very, very strong connections to those, and that also plays a role in having a hard time connecting to this physical kind of very dense reality that we live in here. But you are here because you are meant to shine some sort of light. You are meant to impact some sort of community or group or society in some way, shape, or form. And Boris wants you to know that They're like your efforts will pay off. Let's go ahead and get you some tarot group number 4 and see what else Boris wants to tell you. What other messages from Camelot does Boris bring forth for group number 4, please? We have the Sleeping Lord, the Stone 6, and the Spear 3. Interesting. So group number 4, initially what I'm seeing here with the Sleeping Lord is that it's time to there's a huge message here with not only the Sleeping Lord, but the Spear 3 as well, really kind of confirming this major energy of needing to explore new territory, needing to, okay, some of you guys, there may be like a calling to a specific place, whether it be like a country, a city, a town, even a certain lifestyle or aesthetic. There's something here about finding your voice, allowing yourself to step out of this idea of who you thought you were going to be or what you thought you were supposed to be, and finding your own voice. And you hear this talked about a lot in like art, finding your own voice, finding your ability to, you know, portray what it is you're trying to say through the colors and the brush strokes. And there's something here, group number 4. Maybe you guys are my artists in some way, shape, or form, whether it be writing or painting or music or whatever it is for you. I feel like that's significant for you in your journey. The art that you guys create has a very significant impact, or is meant to, in some way, shape, or form. And that can be different for everybody. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to create a painting that's going to live on like Van Gogh or like Picasso or any, like you have to recreate the Mona Lisa. But what this means is that the people that it comes in connection with are going to be changed. The light that radiates from the things that you create changes people's life in some way, shape, or form here. And there is a need for you to begin embracing this and allow it to take you into the unknown. Allow it to take you to places you haven't seen before. Allow it to take you into new realms. For some of you guys, your creative state may be very, very spiritual for you, and there's a need to learn how to obtain this state of consciousness, because there's a lot of messages and a lot of downloads that are trying to come in through that state of consciousness. For some of you guys, it could even be in like your dreams, where a lot of this information comes in. But there's definitely something here about the creative state, or creative flow, or the state of consciousness here that is going to bring you something very special. Interesting. So group number 4, if you guys have been wondering like what your purpose is or where your talent is, or why you have a hard time maybe communicating, maybe you've been in a state of creative block or a state of stagnancy in inspiration, and there's a need here for you guys to find a way to fall into this state of consciousness. And for a lot of you guys, it's through creating. The state of creating brings you guys into a more open kind of state of being able to receive these messages and these downloads and this information. So there's almost like divine inspiration trying to come in here to be able to shine through the work that you do and really impact and heal other people. So for some of you guys, you may even be channeling like it's almost like Atlantean light, or like Egyptian magic for some of you guys, depending on what it is that you connect to. Whatever that power is that you connect to, or that power place, maybe some of you guys need to kind of look into the power or the spiritual essence of that place in order to be able to understand what it is that's trying to be channeled into the work that you're doing. Interesting. I don't think I've ever had a message come through like that before. But that's really what I'm seeing here. It's almost like the Atlantean light is trying to come through into the painting that you're doing, so that everybody that views that painting is then touched by the Atlantean light and healed and receives like these blueprint kind of upgrades, or this energetic code kind of upgrades. Interesting. So I feel like group number 4, you guys are here to help elevate the consciousness of the collective in some way, shape, or form. And that moves us to stone 6 here. And this is about finding that stability, finding that support, finding that solid group or that solid place of support here. And Boris is coming through here saying like this system, this team, this group of people does exist. For a lot of you guys, though, you're looking into the past, wishing certain people were still here, wishing you could talk to this person, or wishing you could get the group back together, or whatever it is for you. And Boris is saying like you have to come out of the past in order to find the support system now that you have in front of you that is here for you. Or in order to come into contact with them. For some of you guys, there's a need to attend social events or attend events that are going to bring in like-minded people. If you're an artist, if you're a painter, attending, you know, an art gallery, or if you're a writer, you know, go to a library, go, like, there's a need to like put yourself in these positions where other people that would be like-minded would also come to. Interesting. And with Spear 3 here, this is saying go out of your comfort zone. Stop waiting for maybe this support system or these ideas to come to you, and go out and find them. Assert yourself. Put yourself in positions where you're going to be able to come into contact with these energies that you're looking for, instead of waiting for them to show up. Some of you guys, there is like this energy of a muse trying to come through here, and that could be coming through as kind of like that image of the Atlantean light that I was seeing as well. Maybe some of you guys, there are Egyptian gods or goddesses, or there are certain deities or energies that are acting as a muse for you at this time. Even like for me, in a lot of my work, Hecate comes through as a muse for me, because a lot of my artwork comes from the darker experiences that I've had, right? In order to shine light, there must be dark. So it's almost like for me, my artwork is created from the darkness in order to spread light, right? If that makes sense for you. Interesting, very interesting message for group number 4, but I really like it. I feel like you guys with this rune here, you're meant to go places in your life. You're meant to experience things that you haven't yet experienced or come into contact with. But you have to allow yourself to put yourself out there, to step into the unknown, and to begin doing things or experiencing things that you haven't yet experienced. That's a big message here from Boris, from Camelot. Put yourself in places that will advance you, that will put you in new energies, that will bring you into contact with new people and new opportunities. There's really like, there's a theme here for group number 4 of really needing to constantly be exploring, constantly be stepping out of your comfort zone, never getting too stuck in one place, or in one idea or in one project. Interesting. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards for group number 4. What else does Boris want to say to you? Risk. Interesting. So take that risk, step out of your comfort zone. And that's interesting too, because even here on this image, we have this kind of crossroads energy. So some of you guys, you know, maybe you found yourself coming to the same crossroads over and over and over again, and you continue taking the same turn. It's like you continue turning left. You turn left at every crossroads that you come to. And maybe now it's time to go straight or turn right, or, you know, just take a different way than you've ever taken before. As well as Hecate is kind of the goddess of the crossroads, right? So for some of you guys, she is coming through here quite strongly. And if she's here for you, I feel like you'll know that she's here for you. Others of you, maybe it's Isis, maybe it's you know, Atlantis energy, like I said, or maybe it's somebody else, maybe it's Bridget, maybe it's, you know, anybody else. It's different energies and deities and spirits are definitely going to be coming through for different people. So allow them to, okay? Allow them to communicate with you. If somebody or an energy or a deity or a god or a goddess continues to come up within your reality, their name, their image, the idea of them, look into it. Like, look into who that person is perceived to be. What do they usually represent? And how does that relate to you in your life? And maybe how does it relate to a risk that you've been resisting, a risk that you haven't allowed yourself to take? Take risks right now, okay? That's how you step into that unknown, is by taking a risk, because really all a risk is something that we don't know how it's going to turn out. And there's potential for it to turn out amazing. There's potential for it to fail. But that's everything in life, group number 4. So this is about letting go of this need to know, this need to have the answers, and embracing the mystery of life and putting ourselves out there. For some of you guys, there may be an opportunity to travel for work. There's 2 of these that want to come out, or to travel for some sort of expo or to tour or something like this that's going to take you away from your family, from your friends, and that may scare you, but for those of you that resonates with, there's a need to do it, because I'm really seeing here with this stone 6 that your support system, your family, your partner, your spouse, your friends that you may have to leave for a period of time for this work or for this opportunity are going to be very stable. And it's like they're still going to be there. They're still going to be solid, and it's still going to be a great support system for you, whether it be you standing right there in the same home with them or across the country. There's something here about like really needing to trust that even if you have to move away from something or someone, it's still going to be there when you get back. Interesting. We also have sacred union, sexuality, growth, vitality, and fertility. This is that creative energy. This is that idea of conception here, inspiration, of growth. You can't grow unless you take a risk. You can't grow unless you go outside of that comfort zone here. Group number 4. We also have the white heart here with perspective, awakening, realignment, and new beginnings. Yeah, so you guys are definitely being aligned to something very magical, it feels very divine. It could be divine union. It could be like a soulmate or a twin flame or something like that that's coming in, or a business partner, or like some sort of like-minded individual that's going to become the support system for you. I do see that happening for a lot of my group number 4s, especially if that's something that you've been wanting, right? But it's like it's time to start. Okay, so when we take a risk, essentially that is a new beginning. Essentially, it's like that first step in that new direction. And what Boris is saying here is that it is important for you in your life and in the mission that you have here on this earth is to take as many first steps as you can in order to grow, in order to awaken, in order to ascend, in order to align. Interesting. So you guys are definitely being realigned, I feel, to a purpose or to a state of being, to a state of consciousness that maybe you guys have strayed away from for a period of time. Let's go ahead and pull you one final card, group number 4. Any last guidance or advice that Boris wants to bring forth from Camelot for you at this time? We have Shadow and Sovereignty. Yeah. And that's interesting too, because like I said earlier, like my own particular experience with my art comes from, more of my pain or more of my darkness. But that's to bring light forth, right? There's something here about needing to like balance things out. So like if if you're creating something based off of the traumas or the experiences that you've had, or the negativity that you experienced, or the things like that that you've gone through in your life, if you're writing a book about, you know, whether it be fantasy or you know, like a biography of your life, whether it be, you know, writing the story that encapsulates the experiences that you've had, or writing out word for word like the true story of your life, it may be a lot of hardships, it may be a lot of shadowy energy that you are expressing, that you are writing, but that's going to bring other people healing, and it's going to bring other people light. So there's something here about balancing, like, in that aspect. Like, you guys may be shying away from your shadow, or you may be shying away from the pain that you've experienced, or shying away from sharing that part of yourself. But Boris is coming through here saying, like, that's the only way to get to the light. Interesting. I hope this makes sense for you guys, but this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 4. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if you chose this pile. Let me know what other readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing or joining the channel if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.